Hello everyone, this is Rabab Alma again. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist and international life coach. Today I have a special guest, Fatima Omar. She is best-selling author and master coach and speaker. So before I bring her in, I want to talk about the focus of this project is to provide general info to the public, not to provide medical or therapeutic help. One thing I want to point out is the difference between therapy and coaching. Coaching is not therapy, and therapy is a clinical work that requires clinical training, and therapy is an opportunity for psychological exploration, which is not inherent in coaching. So coaching is supporting clients to fulfill their dreams. Say, therapy is more like psychological exploration and empowering the client. So I just want to make that distinction is that therapy is different than coaching. And my guest today is Fatima Omar, and she is joining me all the way from Toronto, Canada. I will go ahead and invite her. Okay. So she is gonna join us any minute. Um, so again, this project has been a pleasure meeting with all people from nationwide, and today I have someone all the way from Canada, a coach. I am very thrilled to have her, and she is gonna join me shortly. Okay, let's see. Okay, she's gonna join me any minute. So again, this project is to provide general info to the public. I am so thrilled throughout this month. I have been inviting and talking to people nationwide. It has been very thrilling, very informative, and I'm happy to have you all on this show. So Fatima is joining. Okay, I'm gonna bring her. Share this video, like it, someone listen to what Fatima is talking about. Hey Fatima.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
How are you, Rabab?
How are you? It's so good.
Alhamdulillah, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's so good to have you.
Yeah, it's so good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. So I want to introduce Fatima Omar. She is a best-selling author. She's a master coach and speaker. She's going to talk to us today about courage and confidence in women. So tell us more, Fatima, about your career. How did you become a coach? What was your journey? I'm so excited to hear all about it. I know, of course, some of it, but I would like to share that with the rest of the world.
Sure. So, becoming a coach and a mentor was not something I actually chose. It chose me, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes these things come up, and I'm just the kind of person, I'm just going to jump on it and let it see where it goes. And for my life, I'm from South Africa originally, and I'm a child of apartheid. So my grandparents and my uncles were actually part of the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa while Nelson Mandela was imprisoned in South Africa. And my grandparents actually came from India when the time that India and Pakistan were having a partition and the British came over. So my grandparents were on one of the last ships with Gandhi that left India to go to South Africa. So I've had some really influential men in my life and very powerful women. My dad was a huge advocate for knowledge and women's empowerment. We weren't allowed television. And so reading was a big thing in my family. But I also grew up like a good girl. You know, I was the eldest in my family, and I had to look after my siblings. And I was taught to be a nice girl and a good girl. And good girls don't complain, and good girls don't ask for anything, and good girls listen to their parents. And more than that, good girls never say no. And because of that background, I myself, with my programming, I attracted and married a man who was violent, bipolar, narcissistic disorder. And that started a lifetime, well, it felt like a lifetime anyway, almost 22 years of violence. And so when I left that relationship, Rabab, I actually didn't know what to do with myself because I had spent 4 decades first looking after my parents, my siblings, looking after my husband, looking after my children. But I was never responsible for bringing home the deer, if you know what I mean. I was never responsible for paying the bills. That was going to be taken care of. And in exchange, I would do whatever I needed to do. And so when I left the violent abusive relationship, is actually a 10-year anniversary of mine this year that I put 5 kids in a car and left. I was sitting there and I was looking at my welfare check, and everyone kept saying, you need to go get a job. And so I went and applied for different jobs, and I was going to get a job at a local coffee shop. And that was going to pay me about $13, $14 an hour. But I needed $25 an hour for my son with cerebral palsy, spastic quadriplegic, because my son Tarek is in a wheelchair. So how was I going to justify the math? Right?
Absolutely.
And so I didn't have a choice. I had to make a business work. And so I started really like just wondering, how do I do this? And so someone said to me, what about coaching? And so I got certified as a coach, and I started this. That's my story in a nutshell.
Wonderful. That's amazing. So you have been a coach for 10 years?
No, not quite 10 years. It took me, you know, I was a very slow learner. It took me a while to get this car going.
Well, I mean, you're a fighter.
Well, I figured, you know what? If I woke up this morning, I'm supposed to be here for some reason.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I had a really big why, Rabab. I think that's the key thing. Like I always tell, you know, my friends, my kids, my clients, things are going to happen. We're going to fall down. We're going to get hurt. Things are not going to go our way. This world is just a test. You're going to have people around you that are actually not friends, but they're going to pretend they are your friends, but they are actually your enemies. Okay? You're going to have I'm just going to move my screen so I don't see. Okay, never mind. I thought I could move the questions. And things are going to happen. Life is going to happen. You're going to not have enough money to pay the rent, or your kids are going to get sick, or you're going to have a health and well-being breakdown, or you're not going to get clients this month. Things are going to happen. Okay? Every day is not a graceful, beautiful day that is effortless and fun. But what I always come back to is why. Why do I want this thing? Why do I want it even though it's causing me pain? Why do I want it even though it's hurting me today? Why do I still want to get up and do that thing, make that video, make that Facebook Live, write that Facebook post, make another thing? Why? Why do I want to make my 100 sales calls every single day? Why? And I had to go back to that, like deep inside of me, my why was bigger than my pain. And my why was that I wanted my children to see me as more than just a woman who had experienced violence. I wanted to model for them what's possible. From the lowest to the low, collecting welfare, being in a cockroach-infested apartment, crying every day, my adrenals blew up. I couldn't get out of bed and make a bagel for my child. And I'm calling to my creator and I'm saying, was this part of the plan? Because I can't get up. I can't get up, and I'm literally crying. I lost so much of my hair. I gained 80 pounds. My hormones inverted themselves because after 25 years of post-traumatic stress disorder, my adrenals didn't know what normal was anymore. So the moment I was safe, Rabab, I crashed, right? And so I had to dig deep into why. Why did I want that woman to know what the signs of violence was? Why did I want women to have choices? Why? What was that thing? And that's what drove me. That's what woke me up in the morning. That's what kicked me out of bed to say, you know what? You're not looking for perfection. You're just looking for a little bit of progress. And if I got that little bit of progress, Rabab, I celebrated. Even it was like a Yahoo, you know, that there was some little progress movement.
Yeah,
so that's a little bit a story of a nutshell. Yeah, my why.
Amazing, because sometimes we forget to celebrate this little progress.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So if you're
especially good girls, especially nice girls.
Yes.
Because nice girls and good girls, and I know because I used to be one of those. We are so critical to ourselves. There's the inside, our inner critic is so strong that if it's not perfect, we discard it. We don't want it. And when you go into the life of entrepreneurship and the entrepreneur lifestyle, there's no 100%. In fact, I had to fall in love with failure, Rabab. Do you know what an explosive growth that was for me?
Absolutely.
Because failure, oh my God, me and failure, we were not going to even be in the same room.
Yes.
Right? I was the girl who came back with a 97% average, and my dad, with all his love, would say, "What did you do with the other 3, honey?" So for me, it was always about even 97% wasn't good enough. So I walked around, my whole self-esteem, my value, my self-worth was connected to what other people were going to say, was connected with a mark on a paper from a teacher, from an outsider, from a parent, from a place of authority. And when you delve and you decide to transition into entrepreneurship, you got to fall in love with failure because, girl, there's a lot coming. Okay? In fact, I read a quote, Rabab, that somebody said, "What is entrepreneurship?" And the person said it so succinctly. I'm not that eloquent, but I'm going to tell you what he said. He said, "To be an entrepreneur is to be able to endure pain for a long period of time." And I said, "Oh my God, that is such a perfect description of what entrepreneurship is."
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, for the audience, I am interviewing Fatima Omar, best-selling author, master coach, and speaker. Please share this video and like it. Fatima is sharing important information with all of us. And thank you for whoever is watching. Laura Long is with us. Thank you for watching. So the project, the theme of the project is confidence. And you want to talk about confidence with women and courage. So I see that you've displayed and displaying this throughout your life, your career, with the decision you took 10 years ago. So how did that impact your success now? How you talked about failure. How were you able to implement this failure acceptance, if you will? How did you do that?
Yeah, you got a bunch of questions in there. So let me backtrack a little bit and let's talk about the courage and confidence. I didn't have courage or confidence because my courage, my confidence was tied up to other people's approval. And so what I notice with women is that when we tie our courage and our confidence to other people's approval, we never actually unleash our own authenticity. In fact, we actually don't know who we really are until we cut the umbilical cord. And it is actually very difficult because our comfort zone is connected to other people, authority, uncles, aunts, grandparents, teachers, people around us that we would look to. And so to become authentic, We have to build our inner resources and build the courage, build the confidence inside of us so we are standing on our own. And let me tell you, Rabab, it's scary. It is not an easy thing to shed that big coat of protection that our families have given us. And yet, we are paying a price as long as we are connected to that. And as long as we are pretending, we're feeling like frauds inside of us. We never actually feel like who we really are because we've never given ourselves a chance to explore that. We're so busy looking and asking, what do you think? What do you think? Ask this person, ask that person. We have to build that intuition muscle to grow the courage, to grow the confidence, so it doesn't actually matter what other people are saying. Because what other people are saying is about their own dreams. They actually don't know what's really good for us. They actually don't know what role we're going to play in life. They actually don't know what the brilliance we have to bring to this world until our time of transition. Only we know that. So for me, for 4 decades, I spent people pleasing. If it wasn't my parents, it was my in-laws and my husband. Mm-hmm. So here I was in my 40s with no credit, no visa, no bank account, nothing, right? Because everything was connected to my husband. Yeah. And a lot of people, when they think about violence and abuse, the question is, did he hit you? Mm-hmm. Because most people only know violence from a physical standpoint, because a woman will come in with a black and blue or a black eye or a broken jaw or a broken arm or bruises everywhere, or she's dead.
Yes.
But there are 7 other categories of violence that changes a woman's brain and neural pathways. It changes her way of being. It actually sucks out our self-esteem, our self-worth, and our self-value. That even if you never locked the doors or never went anywhere, that woman would be a prisoner. Even if she went to another country, she would be a prisoner, mm-hmm. because she would believe all the words and the changes in her brain that what you told her for all these years. Mm-hmm. So it might be my 10th anniversary of leaving, but I needed to work on reprogramming myself. And even now, Rabab, till now, 10 years later, I still have symptoms of PTSD. I still have nightmares. And I'm still working continuously on forgiving myself for putting myself in that kind of situation and my kids. So it's an ongoing process to build that courage, to build that confidence every day. And when we fall, to say, okay, I have to deal with this now. It's not everything. It's not all of who I am. I'm just experiencing it right now in this moment. And in the next 5 minutes, I'll be better.
So what is it, when you talked about the why, what is it, what is the one thing that you would say to the audience that help you to find your why?
That's a really good question. You have to ask, and you have to listen to your intuition. You are so beautiful and so unique in this time and space. Why were you created and born now, in this year, in this time of history, with your body, with your face, with your skin color, your height, your voice inflection, your experiences, your pain, your trauma? Why? Because there's a group of people out there that need your pain to solve a problem. You have overcome an adversity. You have experienced something. It's so unique. The parents you have, the languages you learned, the school you went to, the magazines you read. And so your why is very closely connected to yourself. To self-reflect on, if this was a university of transformation, why did the Creator give you that unique experience. And in that, you will find your answer. Nobody on the outside can tell you what your why is because it won't be authentic to you. Mm-hmm. Right? You can sit with a mentor, you can sit with a coach, and you can do an inquiry, but the answers lie within. The answers don't lie outside of you. And when you sit with yourself and you get really quiet and contemplate, you will know exactly what is that why. Because your why must be so big that it excites you a little bit, but it scares you a lot. Okay? And then that's your why that you wake up with every single day and you reread it to give yourself that juice to go make a difference for the world. I found that when I was depressed and I was suicidal, what made a difference for me is volunteering and telling my story to other people. Mm-hmm. It was cathartic and healing to me to become vulnerable and just say, you're not alone. You're not alone. I have been there too. I know what it's like to be in those dark moments. I know what it's like to cry. And let me give you a hand up. Let me hold you. Let me be here with you and say, you are not alone. Wonderful. Did I answer your question, Rabab, about the why?
Yes, absolutely. It's amazing. So once we find the how, the why, then how about the how? How can we use this why to attain the confidence that we want to move forward?
That's a really good question. And so there's a saying by Einstein, and he says, you cannot solve a problem from the same energy of where the problem was created. Okay? So here you are right now, you know what today's date is, whenever you're watching this video. And from where you are today, you can never create the future that you want. So let me tell you a little bit more about that. I was having a conversation with my son, Omar. He always calls me after work when he's going home. He's married, and he called me, and we're talking. We usually talk for about half an hour, depending on traffic. And he said to me, you know, I mean, there's a huge age difference between Omar, and who's the oldest, and Hamza, who is the youngest. Okay, so Omar, they both have birthdays in October, right? So there's 5 kids altogether. Omar will be 30 in October. Hamza will be 14 in October. Okay, so Omar's biggest complaint, if I called it a complaint, is that I have become very much an easy parent compared to when I had him when I was 20, okay? So, I mean, here I was, a first-time mom, 20, nervous about life, nervous about everything, in a crazy relationship. And then here's Hamza, who is born in my late 30s. You know, he's the 5th child. I don't like boil anything anymore. You know, it's like, okay, honey, I've got all these others to take care of. So I'm a very different person. 16 years have gone by. So anyway, on this particular phone call, Omar actually wasn't complaining, but he said to me, you know, Mom, I don't actually recognize you as my mom. Okay. And I said to him, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, when I was being raised, you were working in the family store, but you were also home a lot. You made homemade jam, and I remember the special naan bread that you used to make, and you know, peach jam and strawberry jam and pickles, and everything was homemade. Now you have no husband, you have no extended family, you're on your own, you're doing this, you're out there in the world, you're traveling, and the kids are like cooking, and you know, or you're like, let's order in. And he said, I don't recognize you. And then I said to him, exactly. And I said, that woman that raised you, would she have been a best-selling author, a sales coach, a trainer, going everywhere? Would she have been able to that? Did I have the resources, the mindset, the willpower, the desire? I didn't. All that woman wanted was to have a beautiful home, educate her kids. The Holocaust were in my home. I was the soccer mom, you know, cutting up the watermelon and playing baseball with my children and hoops and swimming. So the how cannot be created from where you are today. What you actually have to do is you have to play a game with your brain. And the game is you have to transport yourself 10 years from now and say, in 10 years, what did I want to create? Where do I want to be? What would I have already accomplished? What is there? Who is there? What am I wearing? What does my body look like? Who's around me? Can I hear anything? Is there a conversation happening? Is there something on the radio? What kind of car am I driving? What do I smell? Who's cooking? Create your entire world as if it is a done deal. And from that vision of a done deal, you backtrack and you say, if I had that in 10 years, what should have been completed in 9 years? And what should have completed in 8 years? And what should have been completed in 7 years? And you work your way backwards up to a year. And then from that year, you break that down into months and weeks. And now you're like, well, I know what I need to do in the next 90 days, don't I? And more than that, Rabab, it's your way of being. Okay? If you believe that you are never going to get that, then you are right. And if you believe you will definitely get that, you are also right.
So it's about the belief and the mindset?
That is a very big piece. I would say 80% is your belief, your mindset. You know, can you change your mindset from poverty to abundant mindset? Can you change your mindset from a failure mindset, or let's say a school mindset, a employee mindset, to an entrepreneur? And what is that? Right? So there's an education that needs to be done. There's a skill that needs to be done. You got to do your research on what does that even look like? What is an entrepreneur mindset? And look and say, well, do I have it? And check yourself. That's where a mentor or a coach comes in, because they can see things in you that you cannot see in yourself. And that's why every single year I will hire a new coach, a new mentor, because they can see stuff in me. Listen, we are experts at lying to ourselves. Me, I'll be the first one to raise my hand. Okay, I'm the first one who can lie to myself, who can pretend I did the work, until my coach is my accountability partner. It's like, hey, did you get that stuff done? I'm like, yeah. Okay, show me, right? Because we cheat ourselves. Because imagine for 40 years, you have been using that same software, that same programming. And now you hire a coach, and for 1 year, your coach is teaching you a new programming. Do you think in 1 year you will overtake 40 years of programming?
No.
No. It is a continuous process to check yourself. And let me tell you, it's so easy, and I can speak for myself, to slide down. It's so easy to go back to our comfort zone. Okay. It's so easy to be lazy and say, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. I got this bad email. Someone said something nasty to me. Someone pretended that they were my friend, but they were not. And my PTSD symptoms come up, and I get emotional, and I want to throw in the towel. And guess what? I allow myself to have a whiny pity party. And then I go, okay, girl, your 10 minutes are up. Right? And then it's like, okay, let's get back on this horse. And then I take out my paper and I read my why, Rabab. So and that's all I do. It's the same wash and rinse and repeat.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about the Million Start Academy. That's a very intriguing project that you have taken upon, and I would like you to talk about it. What is that?
Sure. You know, Million Stars was actually a dream that I had about 12 years ago. And I didn't know why I had the privilege and honor of having such a beautiful dream. I didn't know. And the dream stayed with me, and I would always ask, why did you show me this dream? Why am I in this dream? What is this about? And I never got an answer, but I still stayed with the question. And when I went through my second divorce, Rabab, it became very clear to me. I compared my two divorces. In my first divorce, I left a violent, abusive relationship. I took 5 kids. I went on welfare, and I lost everything financially. I lost everything when it comes to context, family, people, friends, money. I lost all of that, and my children lost all of that. Okay? And then the Almighty gave me an opportunity to rebuild my life, to release the pain, the shame, to rediscover my value, and my businesses started getting a little bit better. In my second divorce, nothing changed. Everything was in my name. Okay, he wasn't contributing a lot. So, you know, when you have a few pennies among $1,000 bills, you don't notice the pennies. And so when that left, nothing changed in my life. Nothing changed in my children's life. There was no, besides the emotional trauma, which for me was like an emotional stroke that I went through. Nothing changed financially. And in that process, I got to see very clearly the difference money makes for women and children. Money gives us choices. Money helps us to be independent. Money helps us to make a choice whether to stay or go. I have never been an advocate of whether a woman should go or leave. I believe that choice is hers and hers alone. But most women will stay in relationships that are toxic because they don't have the money to leave. And they're afraid of their children, they're afraid of the lifestyle, and the ones that leave tend to go back because they can't survive. And when they go back, every single one of them, 100% of those cases, the violence has escalated. So, absolutely, money makes a difference. I've also noticed that, are we still here or are we gone? Oh,
we are here.
I also noticed, okay.
Do you see me and hear me? I see you and hear you. Sometimes there is a delay in the voice, but otherwise I can see you and hear you. Are you experiencing difficulties?
Something is going on here. I also noticed, am I back?
Yes, you are. You never left.
Okay. I also noticed, Rabab, that when women have money, they give more money. They give more money to charity, they give more money to orphans, and they make the world a better place. So Million Stars was born out of that. And I could see clearly that I was able to show women how to launch their coaching businesses using their past pain, using their experience and credentials to make a difference for others through very simple and powerful marketing strategies and publishing. And that's how Million Stars was born. And my prayer is that this movement becomes the legacy I get to leave behind. This is that why that becomes so big that it's bigger than who I am. And it will take over even when I transition from this meat suit. And then other people pick up the candles, because a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle, Rabab. And so what is it like to be a coach for a woman in Brazil? What is it like for a coach to be a woman in Russia or South Africa? You know, a lot of people are asked the question, how much money do you need? And people will say, oh, I need $1 million. Actually, you don't actually need $1 million. What you need is money to pay your bills comfortably, easily, effortlessly, and then a little bit more for safety and peace of mind.
Absolutely.
And when a woman has that, she has everything.
Absolutely. So before I continue with the interview, I want to thank the people who are joining us or join us: Saadia Yunus, Sabah, Zara. So I want you to like and share that video. Fatima Omar is really sharing important information, and we would love to share that with the world. So again, what is your vision for the Million Star Academy? How do you see it in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see it as we have a series of master coaches, women that are going to be growing their own businesses. So when new people come onto Million Stars and they come onto the website, they will find these master coaches in two ways. One, they will find you geographically, and two, they will find you through your specialty. Are you a business coach? Are you a sexual trauma coach? Are you a marriage coach? Are you a dating coach? And so for me, it's time to help these master coaches build their businesses to grow and flourish. And for me, I'm so thrilled and humbled and excited that we get to go under the radar. Women in villages and tribes and communities all around the world will be helping each other up to lift the women up in their communities, in their villages, through their customs, through their languages, with our training, inshallah.
Amazing. And how do you think that will impact the new generation, the younger generation? So
I
the
believe
teenagers.
that women will have their voices heard. They will be authentic, they will be themselves, and they will have their voices heard. So whatever a woman wants, she can have. That's, for me, is the vision for your daughter, for my daughter, and for the women that are here. They are our future.
Absolutely, absolutely. So from your experience with clients, can you give us like a successful story? I know you might have a lot of them, but one that stands out for you, so we can learn from that story.
Well, I'll tell you a very emotional story, Rabab. And I was actually I was about to go on stage, and I heard it in my headphone, and the director was saying to me, "You've got 5 minutes to get on stage." And I heard this young man's voice, and he was calling me. And I was like looking around, you know, like all these other women were like hugging me. They wanted to talk, and he was trying to push through the crowd. And he said, "Are you Fatima?" And I said, "Yes." "Do I know you?" And he said, "You don't know me, but you know my mom."
Okay.
And he said, "I just wanted to come and say thank you." He said, "My mother has passed away. And I wanted to come and say thank you because you don't realize the impact that you've made in our life." We were three little boys in Venezuela, and we would watch our mom get beaten up every single night because my dad was drunk, and we would hide in the closet helpless. And my mom found out about you, and she joined the program. And slowly she started to coach the women in our little community. And she saved up enough money to get us our own place. And she saved up enough money to send us to school. And I wanted to just let you know that because of you, you saved three little boys' lives. And that's the difference you made, not just for my mother, but the other women saw it and you made a difference. I mean,
wow, that's very moving.
Rabab, what's better than that? Tell me.
Absolutely, Absolutely. That's amazing.
And
Influencing people's life.
that's the future I'm living into, that every woman and child see their moms and see women as powerful, courageous, beautiful people rather than victims of violence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what do you think someone or a client of yours can do when they sabotage themselves? That's a
You
lot.
know,
I can give an example.
the that's a really good question, and I would answer with a different question. And my question would be, how did she know she's sabotaging herself? She doesn't. Most of us actually don't know we're sabotaging ourselves unless you have a friend, a sister, a family member, a coach, a mentor. Even with us who have had years and years of personal development, it's very challenging and problematic to actually catch ourselves. So hire a coach, hire a mentor, create a mastermind group, go to a meetup, check in with yourself, find people who will raise you up. Because I promise you, more people in this world want to bring you down, even if they claim they want to raise you up, even if they belong to some great groups. There is jealousy, there's hate, there's doubters everywhere. And it's actually easier to deal with Satan because he's your open enemy.
Mhm.
But there are people who might have some kind of good intention, but you gotta pick your friends and you gotta pick your people wisely. I promise you, you gotta pick your family wisely. And it's a great idea to bring your family and your children along in your transformation so they can stand with you, because for a long time what you're going to be doing is a dream, like a mirage in the desert. And you've got to hold on and be someone with grit, meaning you cannot give up on your dreams, because once you do, no one else is going to fight for your dreams, because I promise you, even when you're fighting, they're going to want to pull you down. There's the naysayers and the dream stealers, and that's the fact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Fatima Omar. So, what are your future professional plans, if you will?
Oh my goodness. 1 second, Rabab. I think my phone is going to die. Can I just plug it in?
Absolutely.
Okay, hold on.
So again, we are talking to Fatima Omar, best-selling author, master coach, and speaker, and I am honored to interview her all the way from Toronto, Canada. She's talking about confidence and courage. And please share and like this video. Someone,
Okay, I am back.
you're back. Wonderful, wonderful. So we are back to the same question on your future professional plans.
Oh my goodness, my future professional plans. Right now we're working on Million Stars, and it's just about putting the program out there, creating the team around it. We're going to do a few retreats where people can come and spend a weekend with me, and we can create the 1 year of their own coaching program, which is always so exciting to me. So we're choosing venues right now, and really beautiful locations that are luxurious, because hey, you know what? We are women. We want to be loved and pampered, and get some essential oils and massages, and why not have fun while we create the life of your dreams?
Absolutely.
Okay. So creating that. And there was one more thing. Yeah, we're going to do like a summit. So really bringing people together, bringing the minds together and growing it. So, because I'm a big believer in helping people up, you know, and really to say, what do you have to offer? And let me show you off to the world.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
very uplifting, if you will. So, how can people contact you?
Yeah. So if they want to book a session with me, let's say they're on a journey of rediscovering. They want to get rid of their shame, their pain, their doubt, and they want to rediscover their value. They can book a session with me directly at speakwithfatima.com. I think you've got the link there.
Yes.
And I'll put it in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to join the community and just be the first to know about everything we're doing, go to the website, join the community at FatimaOmarKamisa.com, and we'll put the link in there as well. That's it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I want to thank you so much for your time and for joining me and the valuable information you're sharing. What are your final thoughts, Fatima?
Oh my God, I've had such a great time here, Rabab. You are amazing and wonderful. My final thoughts is, if there's even a little bit of an atom of a seed that you want to do something or write a book or launch a coaching business, do not wait. Someday is not a day of the week. Like, just do it, because tomorrow might be gone. Tomorrow might be too late. Now, is it going to be easy? Heck no.
No.
Is it going to be worth it? Oh my God, absolutely yes. And you get to leave a legacy. And even like writing a book, what I love about that is so many beautiful things to that. You get to, your grandchildren get to read your story in your words. You get to create like a sadaqatul jariyah, a charity that's ongoing after your time is expired. I mean, the benefits are endless, and I could go on and on about it. But hey, my thing is just do it. Do it, do it, do it. And let me know how I can help you. Let me know how I can support you in this beautiful journey of yours.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It has been fun and informative. I really enjoyed the time with you, Fatima. So again, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. I want to thank the audience. I don't see questions, but I see a lot of people saying thumb up, salam. So people were enjoying listening to you, Fatima, and me as well. So again, for people who are watching us, please like this video, share it. I will download this video and it will be on YouTube. So you can watch it again here or on YouTube. And I want to thank you again, Fatima, for joining me and for this wonderful time. I wish you a wonderful evening. And until I see you again, thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.